I want to actually begin because we find ourselves in between Purim and Pesach. So I figured we're going to contrast Purim to Pesach. But in order to contrast Purim to Pesach, we have to appreciate a couple things about Purim. So I'm going to tell you the thesis, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Pesach as well. Question number one. Question number one is as follows. In not this year, but last year, and actually next year as well, when you have two Adars, when do you celebrate Purim? In the first Adar or the second Adar? Anybody know? When do you celebrate Purim when you have two Adars? We had this last year, we're going to have it next year. When, anyone know? The second. Anyone know why? Why do we celebrate? Oh, very, very good. Because we want to juxtapose, we want to connect it to Pesach. However, anyone, what would be the rationale for celebrating Purim in the first Adar?
It's the right timing. From the last one, it's the right amount of time.
Okay, perhaps, but even from a religious, we have an opportunity for a mitzvah, we don't pass it up so quickly. Right? We don't pass it up so quickly. However, in source number one, the Gemara concludes that we used it for the second month. Why? Take a look at the end of the Gemara. Because of Mesamech Geula LeGeula Adif. We prefer to connect Purim to Pesach, which means there's a connection, ladies and gentlemen, between Purim and Pesach. And that is specifically our topic tonight. What is that connection? What is the difference between them? What's the similarity? But in order, again, to appreciate it, I want to actually start by understanding a certain law on Purim. Anyone to know what's more important on Purim? The nighttime of Purim or daytime of Purim? What's more important? The daytime. Very good. What's the proof the daytime of Purim is more important? Anyone know? All the mitzvot are on Purim day, but we do something very strange. And what do? We also, what? Read the Megillah at night. Why do we read the Megillah at night on Purim? It should just be during the day. All the mitzvot of Purim are during the day. So why? Why is everyone laughing?
She said to make it cool.
Oh, to make it cool. That's why we did it at nighttime. Let me check the Gemara. No, sorry. That's I don't have that version of the Gemara. It's a different version. So anyone know why? So take a look at source number 2. No one knows who you are on the video. Source number 2. Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi comes along with Yeshua ben Levi on Daf Dalet Amud Aleph, and what does he say? Chayav Adam likro et Megillah balayla v'lishnota bayom. What do we need to do? We need to read the Megillah at night. V'lishnota bayom. What does lishnota bayom mean? Repeat from the word Shnayim v'shiramtam levanecha. Right? To repeat. Comes on the Gemara and says, as it says, Shemar lo kaya kra yomam v'lo ta'aneh v'lo l'v'dum yalei. Savur mine. There are those who wanted to perhaps explain lemikrai balayla. So what do? You read Megillah at night, and what do you do during the day? Velimtana matnitin dida biyamama. That you learn matnitin. What's matnitin? You learn Mishnayot during the day. Can you believe it? Read the Megillah at night, and during the day, forget the Megillah. Just the Mishnayot. Can you believe it? You can fulfill the mitzvah of Mikra Megillah through learning Mishnayot. Well, that's very odd. Learning Mishnayot to fulfill the mitzvah of Mikra Megillah. That's what he says. So then Gemara goes on to say, Amar lehu Rabbi Yirmiyah l'didim afarshe le'mine de Rav Chia bar Abba kigon de Amri Inish avor parshata dav etanei. Because sometimes we learn that. That's exactly what you could do. You could read the parsha and you'll teach and you'll know it. Itmar nami Amar Michav Amar Ula b'Yirya chayav adam likrot et Megillah balayla v'nishnot habayom. That you have to read it at night and v'lishnot habayday. What does v'lishnot habayday mean? No, not enough just for Mishnah. You have to read it properly. How do we know? Lamani zamercha chavod v'lo yidom. Hashem Elokai lo lamodeka. That we have to leman dizmach chavod v'lo yidom. That what do we need to do? We have to continue to say zemirat and the glory of God. We don't just do it once; we must do it twice. And the Gemara learns Ekra in source number 3. The verse in Tehillim in chapter 30 is the source for Tanit Esther. It's a well-known Gemara that this parak of Tehillim is referring to Esther, and therefore the Gemara learns from here that what do we need to do? We need to not just read Mishnah, but we actually need to read the Megillah. So the Gemara concludes and says, no. Learning Mishnah is not sufficient. We actually have to read Megillah. Very, very strange. Why is it strange? What do you mean? This is why we have to read Megillah at night. This is the source for Megillah at night? What are you talking about? Meaning, sorry, this is the reason why we have to read Megillah during the day. Reading Megillah during the day is one of those basic fundamental psukim in the entire Megillah. Take a look, please, at source number 4. Ein kret Megillah v'lo malin v'lo tavlin ad shetanei tzachama v'kulan shasu mishalam urashachar kasher. We know there's many mitzvah that we do, and if we don't do them at the right time, we don't fulfill the mitzvah. For example, the Megillah during the day, Brit Milah during the day, certain tefillah, no, you're not going to bet mikdash during the day. And when do you do this? After Netzachama, which is called sunrise. Okay, but yeah, but if you do it after Lot HaShachar, you are Yotze. So I don't understand. I have a very strong question. Shua ben Levi. How can Rabbi Shua ben Levi come along and say, oh, during the day read Mishnayot? What are you talking about, Mishnayot? It's a fundamental Mishnah. You got to read Megillah during the day. Look at source number 5. The Gemara there on the Mishnah says, how do we know Milalan? What's the source? The Pasuk says in Esther, V'hayamim ha'ela nizkarim v'nasim bayom in balayla lo. What do you mean? It's a fundamental Gemara. The Pasuk says, Yamim ha'elu Megillat Esther. During these days, nizkarim v'nasim. They are recalled. How do we recall what happened during those days? We read Megillah. What is the Havamina? What in the world are we thinking here? Of course you don't do it at night, just the day. So then Gemara says, Lamitet Yufta Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Rabbi Shua ben Levi, what are you going to argue? Shua ben Levi, you told us in source number 2, they're supposed to also read Megillah at night. So Shua ben Levi, Chadam likrata Megillah balayla, v'lishota bayom. Kikatane adayom. And he says, no, the word yom, I'm also going to understand that maybe perhaps you could also read it at night. And Rabbi Shua ben Levi, based on source number 2, brings that pasuk, which is referring to Esther, and from there we learn you have to read it at night. But the essential chiyuv is during the day. So first of all, 2 things that are very strange. Question number 1. Question number 1 is, and really there's a lot more to analyze here, but I'm not going to, because it's the technical part. But essentially, Rabbi Shua ben Levi has to find a special pasuk to learn that read Megillah at night. Otherwise, of course, we have to read it during the day. What exactly is Shua ben Levi trying to teach us? Why would you institute something for the night if it's supposed to be during the day? Is there a difference between reading Megillah at night versus reading Megillah during the day? How do I know there's a difference? I'll prove it to you. I'll give you an example. Anytime a Yom Tov begins, we make Kiddush, we say, Shechianu. The next day in Shul, do we do something for the Yom Tov? We make a Shechianu? No. But on Purim, we do something very odd. What do we do on Purim in the morning? We read Megillah and we say, why we say Shechianu again? We said it last night. And you want to tell me it's over like a Yom Tov? It's over the Kedusha of Purim? We said, what? What mitzvah? What mitzvah are they? So again, I agree. But why? How can you say the bracha over Megillah with Shechianu? I heard Megillah last night. Why is it a new mitzvah?
Commanded twice, we're not commanded once. Second day Yom Tov is only on Rosh Hashanah. You do it. You say Shechianu again.
No. The Shechianu that I say by shofar, because the Shechianu is over the mitzvah of shofar. But I'm saying Shechianu over the Megillah. I said last night over the Megillah. How could I say Shechianu again?
It's a different mitzvah.
Why?
It has a different meaning.
Oh, very good. Here's a proof that Hannah's right. That's exactly the Chiddush of Shua ben Levi. That there's something different about reading Megillah during the night and the day. So much so that you're obligated to make Shechianu over it. Yeah, Jesse.
Can you make a connection with Lulav and Etrog and sitting in that, like, you make a Shechianu on
So again, the night of Sukkot, I make Shechianu, and I make it over the Yom Tov, and I included it, my Sukkah. The next morning, I take a Lulav the first time I say Shechianu. But my Shechianu is not going on the holiday of Sukkot, it's going on the mitzvah of Arba Minim.
Well, they're connected as the holiday of Sukkot, no?
No, there's still 2 separate mitzvahs. You're 2, right? Leishib Sukkah and Nitla Lulav are 2 separate mitzvahs, 2 different brachas. Right? But by Megillah, we don't do that. We do the exact same brachot, and we say, why say Shechianu again? So the truth is, no one here is Sephardi. That's why no one is bothered by what I said. Sephardim don't make a bracha during the day. Sephardim only make a bracha at night, Shechianu. But no one knows that here. So
I don't count.
Yeah, you don't count, sorry. Take a look, ladies and gentlemen. Where do we see this? Jump, please, to source 13. Hakoret Megillah mevarach lefanav 3 brachot. Mikra Megillah asanisim Shechianu ubayom eina chozer mevarach Shechianu. Comes on the Ramah and says no. Haga v'yesh omrim da'af bayom mevarchim Shechianu. And who does the Ramah quote? The Torah. The Rabbeinu Tam, the Rosh, and the Magi Mishnah. The Ashkenazim all say Shechianu during the day. The Mishnah Berurah is a Chumrah. That maybe if you went to a shul, they banged on the table. Anyone know the announcement that all the shuls make in the day? When they say Shechianu, what should you do? Have in mind the other mitzvot of the day. Wonderful, very good. Come on, I'm sure your shul did that. That's like a classic. You don't remember? They usually bake a bag. Keep in mind that's a chumrah of the Mishnah Berurah, but that's not made karadin. We made the announcement at the JLIC minyan in the morning, right?
Yeah, they made a church.
They made a church. Yeah, it's a pretty standard thing. They're supposed to do.
Yeah, like when you're reading it, have in mind.
But you don't.
Right.
Right, but you don't need to. It's a chumrah. It's a chumrah of the Mishnah Berurah. You don't need to do that. It's a chumrah Mishnah Berurah. You don't need to do that. So the why? Because we see that all the Rishonim say should make a bracha in the day, and now here's what I want to argue. I want to argue that Yeshua ben Levi is teaching us something fundamental. Really, Purim is about the daytime. The daytime is the takana chachamim. They made a takana say Megillah during the day. Later on, it was crept in. Also, you know what? Add it during the night. Therefore, at nighttime you say Shechianu. Why? It's the mitzvah. But in the morning, it's a fundamental different chiyuv. The chiyuv, the daytime of Shechianu over the reading of the Megillah, is a fundamentally different type of obligation. That's the original takana. That's the day of Purim. That's why, again, you make another bracha of Shechianu. Now, anyone know why do we read Megillah at all? Why do we read Megillah on Purim? So we saw the Gemara said, because Esther decreed, we have to read Megillah. But anyone know what else perhaps is Megillah coming instead of? What is it coming to replace?
Hallel.
Very good. Why is it that we don't recite Hallel on Purim? Can everyone take a look, please, at the Gemara? It's source number 7. So, source 7. So the Gemara gives 3 reasons why we don't say Hallel on Purim.
Because we were still...
So the Gemara says, take a look at source 7. Very important. This, by the way, is an important Gemara because it's also important for many reasons. One of them is Yom Ha'atzmaut. The Gemara says, I don't understand. We say what Hallel on Pesach, and that's from what Avdul Lecherut. From Mita L'chaim, of course we should say it on Purim. We were saved. How can we not say Hallel? Answers the Gemara. Ihachi Hallel nami nema. We should say Hallel on Purim. Answer number 1 is the fi she'ein omrim Hallel l'neish b'chutz la'aretz. Answer 1 is you don't say Hallel if the neish was in chutz la'aretz. Persia, chutz la'aretz, no Hallel. Answer number 2. The Gemara says you said Mitzrayim neish b'chutz la'aretz. Achamim shira. Excuse me. Where's the Exodus from Egypt? It's not chutz la'aretz. Answer is no. Tanya ad shlo nichnasu Yisrael la'aretz huchshu kol yisrael l'mar shira. No, you're right. They weren't able to fundamentally say Shira until Knisah La'aretz. When Yeshua entered the land, that gave permission to say Hallel and Shira even on Pesach. Third answer. Menachem says no. Kriyata zu hilila. Reading the Megillah is the Hallel. Rabbi says, and it's process pasuk. And then he dismisses it. We don't say Hallel because Akate Avde Chashverosh Anan. We're still slaves to Chashverosh. The Gemara gives different reasons why we don't say Hallel on Pesach. Either because it happened in Chutz La'aretz, either because it was we read the Megillah instead in its place of Hallel, or 3 because we're still slaves to Chashverosh. We still live in Galus. What is the reason that seems to be codified? Take a look at number 8. Says the Rambam. Lo halal la shochana kabel vayd midir sofrim ela kreda halal lo la midir sofrim b'chol yemim shegomrim with the halal u'shmona sar yom b'shana mitzvah ligmor behind the halal. They are da. Look at the last 5 words. Lo tiknu halal b'Purim. Why? Shekriyat hamegillah hi halal. Says the Rambam, which is agreed to by the Meiri in source number 9. Do you know why we don't say halal in Purim? Because we read the Megillah. What happens if you don't have a Megillah?
Because otherwise, then anytime we read the Megillah, it would be enough instead of Hallel. But on Shavuot, we do both.
Well, no. Whoa. Stop. The fundamental Megillah on Shavuot, on Pesach, has no chiyuv whatsoever. It has minhag. The chiyuv to say Hallel, the chiyuv to Megillah is Takanat Chachamim. There's no Takanat Chachamim to read Ruth or Kehelet or Eicha or Shir. That's a minhag. Chasidim don't even read Megillah on those days. And right, in those far shuls, yeah, they don't read Megillah. They don't read Shir Shirim and Ruth. And I grew up in Beth Jacob, never heard of what's Ruth, Shir Shirim. They did Echa, they did obviously Esther, and that was it. But
so aren't all those reasons you just mentioned the same reasons why they weren't even going to put Megillah, Esther, and Mitzvah to begin with? Like,
because why?
Like a lot of discrepancy.
No, two different things completely. Saying halal is one reason. Codifying it in Tanakh is a different reason.
Oh.
Codifying Tanakh is a different reason.
Like it was late.
There's no God. It was later. There's no man.
No, I know. I understand that, but I remember, like in my class, I wrote, it says like because of all the things you just said, like I mean, and additionally that they never actually left. Meaning,
because they still remained in Galut.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they didn't want to make it into a holiday.
Exactly.
That was such a good class.
So the Gemara seems to say that's why they don't say halal.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's similar.
But just because you don't say halal, does that mean it shouldn't be in Tanakh? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll get my Tanakh later.
But the whole entire it was fascinating. So the Meiri in source number 9 asked me a question. By the way, this was actually asked me by somebody. It's a true story. You don't have a Megillah. You're in Timbuktu, but you have a sitter. Can you say halal instead of reading the Megillah, the Nafkamina? Answer, says Meiri, that's exactly what you do. If you can't get a hold of a Megillah because you live in Timbuktu, or you're stranded somewhere in an airport.
It's the opposite way. A Megillah can replace Hillel, but Hillel can't replace a Megillah.
No, meaning again, if you have a Megillah, read Megillah. If you don't have a Megillah, so at least say halal.
Okay, but you're not fulfilling the whole obligation.
No, of course not. Right. But meaning again, if the Gemara says, what do we do instead of halal? We read Megillah. So if I therefore don't have a Megillah, which everyone agrees is ideal, that's the takanas, read the Megillah. But what about if I don't have a Megillah? I'm in Timbuktu. I'm not going to be able to do some Megillah. I'm supposed to travel to Toronto for Purim. The flight got canceled in Taktiaktak. I don't think in Taktiaktak they have a Megillah.
You pull out your iPhone.
Right, but can't be not Yods. No. By the way, it's better to say halal than read it off an iPhone. Reading, ladies and gentlemen. I
thought if you didn't have one, you could
read it of a Tanakh. Yeah. Tanakh. It could be that maybe better to say halal.
It's better so?
Maybe better to say halal. The question is, I'm not saying we hold this way by the Meiri, but I think the idea is that conceptually, I think it's an important one. Now, if the fundamental question though is, why did Rabbi Shua ben Levi feel that he needed to prove that you had to say the Megillah at night? Why? Why did he feel that he must prove that you have to say it? And I think the answer is because, and we said it before, there's two different obligations. Because night is different than daytime. What is the difference between nighttime and daytime? I will give you an example of the difference between night and day. If you can take a look, please, at... By the way, there's one more nafkamina that I wanted to mention about women. Are women obligated in Megillah?
Yeah.
Women are obligated in Megillah. Can a woman write a Megillah?
Yeah. Yes.
No, they can't.
I made that up.
Why not? This is a great question. This is a great question that is actually asked. This question is asked by Rabbi Akiva Eger. Rabbi Akiva Eger says, I don't understand.
Serena wins for that.
What did she say?
Because women can't read.
Women can't read. I thought going to get picked up on tape. How come women can't write a Megillah? If they're obligated, they should be able to write a Megillah. Why not? It's the same obligation. We know that's the rule when it comes to writing. What's the proof? The proof is very simple. Take a look at source 16, for example. Sefer Torah, Tefillin, Mezuzah, Shekatva, and Musar, V'Gachavim, and Eved, and Isha, or Kata, and Akisha, Psulim. Why? Ukshartem, Uktavtem. Kol sheyeshno b'kshira, yeshno b'tiva. Whoever is obligated to put on Tefillin can write Tefillin. Kol she'eno b'kshira, eno b'ktiva. They're always connected. Therefore, why can't women write a Megillah? It's a very good question. It's a very, very good question. The other
it's time bound?
Doesn't. So the fact that it's time bound doesn't matter. Why?
So writing isn't time bound.
No. Why doesn't it matter? This is very important. Are women obligated in drinking 4 cups of wine at the Seder? That's time bound. Is women obligated in Hanukkah candles? Yes, but it's time bound.
Yeah, so what's this whole time bound nonsense?
Well, mitzvah Rosh Hashanah is one grama.
Yeah,
Women are pater from mitzvah says to the Gemara.
It's a lie. They're clearly not
Okay,
pater.
they are. What is similar with the mitzvah of lighting Chanukah candles, reading Megillah, and drinking Dalit Kosvat? D'oraita or d'Rabbanan? Come on, people. I know you've been in school in 2 weeks. How can Chanukah be made a Torah? No, d'Rabbanan. They're d'Rabbanan. So when the Chachamim are going to make a chiyuv, even though it's connected to time, they always connect it to make everyone obligated. You know, I can create a mitzvah, Takana Chachamim, a brand new takana, right? Light Chanukah candles. So of course we have to light Chanukah candles. Right? Why? Af, Hein, Hayu, Batones. Right? So were the women going to be destroyed on Purim? Nashim, of course. What Dalit Kosat? Same idea. Chanukah. So therefore, women, when Chachamim came along and said we are instituting a mitzvah called Dalit Kosat Shel Yayin, therefore women are obligated. Chanukah candles, Mikra Megillah. So, Afenu Batones. That is source 14 and source 15. The women are obligated in Megillah, fundamentally just like men, because they have the same obligation, just like men. However, ask the Gemara, can women be motzi a man Megillah? And there, they can't. And the answer is, why not? It should be the same level of obligation. We know that in order to be motzi somebody, you have to have the same level of obligation. For example, if I'm obligated in shofar, I can blow shofar for you. Can a woman blow shofar for a man? No, because women are not obligated for shofar, because that's a mitzvah tasei shazma grama. Women are part of shofar. They can do it if they want to, right? But they're not. Today, women have almost basically accepted the mitzvah of shofar, right? So, but they still can't be motzi a man. In theory, if a woman takes a shofar, she can blow it for herself. Why not? Nothing wrong with that. So, the question is, why can't a woman read Megillah for a man? They should have the same level of obligation. So this, I think, if we understand that there's two different obligations when it comes to Mikra Megillah. And the women are only obligated in one of those two things. There's a difference between Megillah night and Megillah day. We see it by Shechianu. We see it by women's obligations. We see it also in another area, which I'm not going to deal with because it's going to take too long. But by Gerim as well. Chachamim made the obligation for the daytime to be the original chiyuv. That is the institutionalized takanat Chachamim. The night of Purim. The night of Purim, maybe one could argue, there's almost a different type of obligation. It's not the same obligation. It's learned out from a different pasuk. It's not the mitzvah hayom, right? Women are obligated in everything that happens Purim day. Right? There's no difference between Mishte, Mishloach, Manam, Tov Yonim. Women are man, there's no difference. But there's something about the night. Since the women have a different obligation when it comes to the night, that's why they can't write a Megillah. We can write a Megillah. This is written by women who will be used during the day. I mean, you can't do that fundamentally. And therefore, women cannot write a Megillah. Right? There's something about these two different obligations between night and day. What is the difference between night and day? So this is a well-known Rav. Before I get to Rav Soloveitchik, I want to actually no. Let's jump to Rav Soloveitchik. Joe to please, source 18. Rav Soloveitchik used to quote this. It's in a number of different shiurim of his. What's the difference between a mitzvah of the day and a mitzvah of night? What's the difference between the theme of day and the theme of night? Let's talk about this. What's our emotion at night versus what's our emotion during the day?
The night's less clear.
The night is less clear. What else we feel at night? Tired.
More emotional. That's why I love stricter. Like Yichud. That's why it's true.
Okay, true that Yichud is stricter at night. There's no question. What else is the issue night and day? What's our psychology?
Scared of the dark.
Scared of the dark, right? We're scared at night. It's a much scarier time. What about during the day? Things are clear during the day, right? I think most of us here at 10 a.m. would feel very different walking to a parking lot on campus than at 10 p.m. walking to a parking lot on campus, right? It's a lot scarier. So, said Rav Soloveitchik, what happens if you do mitzvot that are supposed to be for the day and night, and mitzvot that are supposed to do at night for the day? Because it's not Rav Soloveitchik. You're not, that's the Gemara. You're not Yotzei. For example, someone has a Brit Milah during the day. Someone has a Brit Milah at night. You did nothing. If you're supposed to have a Suda of Purim during the day, what do? You have to do Tipatam. Right? What happens if you do the Suda of Purim during the night? You're not Yotzei, but during the day. Right? You give Mishloach Manat. A minority opinion, you say B'diavad, Mishloach Manat during the day. Right? There are certain mitzvot that are day mitzvot and certain mitzvot that are night mitzvot. Sfrat Omer is done at night. Why? Why?
The day starts at night.
Yeah.
So okay. So why don't we say this by Matano Levyonim Mishloach Manat by shofar? Why not by shofar? Why not by lulav etrog?
Because Sfirata Omer is counting to the Torah, so you want to do it as soon as you can.
And lulav, you don't want to do it as soon as you can?
No.
Why not?
But it was a good one.
Deborah, and lulav, you don't want to do it as soon as you shofar, you don't want to do it as soon as you can? Shofar, as soon as you can?
Those things are like for the time. It's like for Sukkot, so you can do it as long as Sukkot.
So do it right away.
You want to do it when the most people are around to maximize that.
Wait. Okay. You don't think if shofar was at nighttime, it wouldn't bring out the crowd?
No.
Yes, it would. People were the opposite. I'll give you the opposite. Most secular Jews would love to go to shul at 8 o'clock at night than 10 o'clock in the morning. You'd pack the house if it was night. Kol Nitra is packed. It's nighttime. No one's working. The opposite. If you did shofar at night, you double your numbers. Right? The answer is because there are certain mitzvot that have to be during the day because there's something about the day. And there are certain mitzvot that are the night and they're done during the night. What is the difference? Said Rav Soloveitchik the following, source 18. Amar Rava Bar Chanina, Savra Mishmei de Rav, Kol Shalo Amar, Emed V'yatziv Shacharit, Emed V'emuna Arvit, Lo Yatza Yedei Chavato, Shenemar, Lahagid Baboker Chazdecha, V'emunatcha Balilot. In the daytime it's Emet, V'yatziv, V'nachon, V'kayam, V'yashar, by Shema, we say there's truth, and God is upright, and there's Kayam, V'yashar. All these are positive attributes. At nighttime, Emunat Chabalilot. We have Emunah, it's faith, it's dark, it's unclear. Nighttime we're scared. Nighttime is the time of Emunah. Daytime is the day of Emet V'nachon V'kayam V'yashar V'namar V'hu V'chavim Nechmad. And that's, halacha therefore defines the mood. In the day you wake up in the morning and you're excited, you should be excited. You're personal, you want to connect with the creator of the world, you thank God for opening up your eyes. When you go to sleep, it's dark. There's the fear of the unknown. That's the difference between chesed and emunah. Chesed, right? That's what we say. What's the pasuk? Lahagid ba'boker chazdecha. Chesed is for the day. Chesed thanks God for what He did to me. You look in the past, as opposed to emunah is faith in the future. Emunah is faith in the. I don't know what's going to be tomorrow. I throw my hands up in the air. God, please take care of me. Chesed is, no, I thank God for what you did to me yesterday. That is chesed of the past. The emunah is faith in the future.
So why do we say Sfirata Omer?
Oh,
Why do we have the Seder in?
oh, that's that. Hold on. We're getting there. It's exactly the whole point.
It should be the opposite though.
What? Why?
Because shouldn't it be that when you see Emmet and you see clarity, then you have faith, and
No.
when you don't see Emmet and you don't see clarity,
No.
things are complicated.
So the pasuk says Vemunat Chabad. At night we throw our hands up in the air and we say, well, the only thing we have is faith. What else am I supposed to rely on? It's so dark, right? My eyes are closed. It's dark. Now, I actually think this explains, but I don't want people aware of this. I've ever heard of the concept called being samoch geula l'tefillah. What that means halachically? Geula.
The Gal Yisrael and
Yes.
Esrei?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a halacha. You must juxtapose. Very good, Jesse. You must juxtapose geula to tefillah. You must say Shema, Gal Yisrael, Shema Esrei right away. At Shacharit, that's a major imperative. Meaning, let's say you come late to shul. Anyone know what is the most important thing to do when you're in shul? Daven Shema Esrei with a minyan. That is what it's all about. You skip, you do whatever you can to. What happens if you're going to have to skip so much in the morning? Again, of course, you woke up on time. Your mother wasn't feeling well, so you're helping out at home, or something happened. You had a stomachache. You came late to shul, so you get late there to shul. are you allowed to jump right into the Amidah in the morning?
But you have to say Kriyat Shema.
You must say Kriyat Shema. Why? You have to be Somech, Geula, Gal Yisrael, Tefillah. You have to say Shema with Shemon Esrei. What about a Mariv? What about a Mariv? You should, however, Shemon Esrei with the Tzibur is more important. You could jump right in and say Shema later. If you come late to Mariv, you can say the Amidah and say Shema afterwards. Even though it's better to connect them. If you can't, you can't. Why? Said Rav Soloveitchik. Because of the nighttime, it's not about, it's just, you don't need to connect the Geula to Tefillah. Tefillah stands on its own when it comes to the nighttime. That's just a sense of this emunah and this faith. We just pray. We don't need to look back at redemption. In the morning, since it's all about the davening during the daytime, it's all about thanking God for the past. Therefore, you have to mention the past before you could actually daven. That's what Rav Soloveitchik used to explain. So then what is true about the night of the Seder? If Purim, we see fundamentally, the Ikar of Purim is all about thanking God for saving us. That's why what do? All the mitzvah during the day.
So same as at night, because you have to look back on Purim.
The Chiddush of Rabbi Shua ben Levi is that there's a small dimension of thanking God for the future. So again, on Purim, the essential aspect of Purim is the daytime. Daytime means thanking God for saving us yesterday, or in the time of Haman and Achashverosh. Yeshua ben Levi adds and says, don't just look back. I'm going to add in a dimension called the future. Emunah at night. It's not the original chiyuv. It doesn't make sense. It's drawn out from a different pasuk. But I'm adding in, don't just focus on the past by Purim. Also look at hope towards the future. That is the dimension of Megillah at night. Pesach, the mitzvot of Pesach are all at night. Famous question. How can you recite Pesach? How can you have a Seder in Auschwitz? How can you have a Seder in the Warsaw Ghetto? How can you say that we're free? This was a well-known question that's been asked many times. But the answer is a beautiful answer. Pesach is not about the past. Pesach is all about the future. And the mitzvot of Pesach are all at night. There are no mitzvot of Pesach during the day. Is there chivti matzah the daytime of Pesach? None whatsoever. You might fulfill but the chiyuv is eating at night. Right? All the chiyuvim, dalad kosa, they're all at night. Sfirat Omer, ladies and gentlemen. Why is the sphere obligated at night? What's the language of the bracha? Right? Asher kedishon zevanu al Sfirat Omer. What do we say right after we count? The strangest thing in the entire world. Harachamanhu yachzir lanu et avodat beit hamidashim k'ravim minzela. It's all about the future. It's not about, right? Zecher Lamigdash is part of it, but the essential part of Sfirat Omer is futuristic, is longing for the Mikdash. And Pesach, it's not all about what happened to us in the past. In fact, one could argue even the opposite. Pesach fundamentally is all about the future. And therefore, even though we're in the Kovno ghetto, we can still say, just like God redeemed us in the past, Pesach is about L'shana haba b'Yerushalayim. Pesach is future-oriented. You know the famous story, the Ma'aseh of the 5 rabbis? So Mesubim b'Bnei Brak. What, those only 5 rabbis that stayed up all night? It's like me saying, there are 5 people who stayed up in Toronto the night of Shavuot. What are you talking about? Everyone stays up. So why those 5 rabbis? You know why those 5 rabbis? Because those 5 rabbis were all exempt. There are 3 Kohanim, a Levi, and a Ger. So you might think, according to Chazal, Kohanim and Leviim were not enslaved, and a Gersher wasn't enslaved because he wasn't Jewish. So you might, why did the author of the Haggadah choose those 5 rabbis? Because those 5 rabbis were never enslaved. And what's the proof to you? The proof is they stayed up at night. Night's about future redemption, not past redemption. So therefore, they're emphasizing in the text of the Haggadah, we're choosing 5 people who were never enslaved. I don't think anyone around this table was enslaved either, for that matter. But Pesach's not about that we were enslaved. Pesach's about that in the future, God will redeem us. And He's going to redeem all of us. Doesn't matter if we're a Kohen or a Levi or a Ger or sitting in Toronto. That's the beauty of the Seder. And that's why all the obligations of the Seder are at night. because it's all about the future. It's looking towards a better tomorrow. And that's why I think really is this notion of night and day. That's the difference between Purim and Pesach. So now, when we look back, we really have tremendous, I think, clarity, over what is the nature of many mitzvot that we do. Most mitzvot that we do it a day, because that essentially they are recognizing what happened in the past obligates us to do things today. Very few mitzvot, very few. Chazal instituted really Sfat Omer, right? And what's another one that's quite famous? That's also midrabanan that we do at night. Well, Halloween. So Halloween again. So that's part of the Seder. It's part of besides the holiday of Pesach. What's another holiday where nighttime is the time we do it? Very good. Hanukkah. Right? There's no Hanukkah during the day to light candles. That's like silly. Hanukkah candles during the day. It's preposterous. It's the same idea. Hanukkah, the fundamental emphasis on Hanukkah. Which, by the way, everyone asks a question: we're lighting candles on Hanukkah. Beit Mikdash is destroyed. Yay! They found the oil. They lit it in the temple. We have no temple. Why are we celebrating Hanukkah? So instead, where do we light them? In our house. Why? Because the message of Hanukkah is it's again Hanukkah even more than Purim. It's completely all about God redeemed us in the past. Therefore, it's going to happen in the future. That's why we talk about much greater emphasis of Nisim, right? And that's why we continue to celebrate Hanukkah, which otherwise is totally nonsensical. It's irrational. Why do we still celebrate Hanukkah? We have no Beit Mikdash. It happened, so what? So they found oil that lasted for 8 days. Who cares? We haven't lit a menorah in the Beit Mikdash in 2,000 years. Why celebrate Hanukkah? Because Hanukkah is looked upon by Chazal as a holiday that's not about the past, that it's all about the future. And that's why the mitzvah is at night. So I think we see here this was really, really beautiful idea, the differences between different obligations that I have during the year, the fundamental difference between Hanukkah and Purim. And hopefully this will give us also an appreciation for this time of year that we stand in. We stand in right smack in the middle, not quite smack in the middle, we're pretty close to the middle of Purim and in between Pesach, right? They're a month apart, we're just a couple of days away from Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Because it is this time of year that we go from the past, it's the end of the year, and we're beginning to the future. God redeemed us in Nisan, and in the future, He's going to redeem us again in the month of Nisan. So let us hope and let us pray that just like God, we were redeemed in the month of Nisan, we are atidim lehigael also in the month of Nisan, and it's about looking forward, not focusing on the past, but trying to look for that light and for that moment of hope and glory and ultimate redemption, hopefully very soon. Thank you, everyone.